In this video we are going to install and configure a Hyper-V server 2012 R2. Hyper-V server is a specialized version of Windows Server that has limited functionality meant only for virtualization. It has all of the Hyper-V and related tech functions as the full Windows Server 2012 R2 does, but it does not offer any client licenses and should only be used as a Hyper-V server. One important thing, it's free. So while it doesn't have licenses, the Hyper-V server OS itself is free. So for example, if you have a bunch of Linux machines, you could run these machines on a Hyper-V server and be totally no cost from this standpoint. In this video we are going to install a new Hyper-V server and configure it. And if you installed a Windows Server 2012 R2 server core previously, then you will also know how to install a Hyper-V server because it's the same thing. So I'm now on my Hyper-V host and I will create a new virtual machine and I will name it HVS01. I'll make it generation 2. I don't want dynamic memory and I think maximum 3 GB is more than enough. Let's connect it to the switch. Hard disk should be 50. And now we have to choose the ISO image for Hyper-V server, which is a different ISO than Windows Server 2012 R2. Let's also make a couple of other adjustments, like the CPU count. We raise it to 2 CPUs. Enable guest services, do nothing at startup and shut down at stop. Now we are ready to install it. And this is exactly the same installation method as for Windows Server 2012 R2. Next, install. Read and accept. Custom, we use the only disk we have available, and now we have to wait a couple of minutes for the installation to finish, and I will come back to the video when I have to change the local admin password. So now we have arrived at the password change screen. Let's set a local admin password. And this is Hyper-V server. Basically it's a server core with less functionality. So let's start configuring it by first configuring the IP settings. I want to set a static IP address. I also want to set the 2 DNS servers. Next, let's enable remote desktop just to have it enabled. I don't think we have to use it. Okay, and lastly we have to join it to the domain and change its name, which we can do in one step. Press 1. We want to join a domain. The name of the domain is testcorp.local. Let's give it a user with rights to join it to the domain. And now we can also select yes to change the computer name. HVS01. We have to specify again the administrator. And now we can finally restart the server. And when the server will restart, it will actually be finished with the basic config. We then have to configure also a Hyper-V. So now that we are done with the basic stuff, let's head over to PowerShell remoting on that server and also configure Hyper-V. So what I want to do is set the default path for hard disks and virtual machines, also enable enhanced session mode. And you saw, since it's Hyper-V server, Hyper-V is already installed, so this headache is gone for us. We can begin directly to configure it. Also create a switch. And as far as the like I like to configure the SMB and ICMP firewall rules, I don't need to do that because I moved this server in the servers OU, which has that group policy set, and the next time I restart it, they will be also enabled. Why not now? Restart computer, and that's basically it. If you liked the video, please leave a like and share it. Also, please consider subscribing if you are not yet subscribed. This way you can be notified when I put out new videos. And thanks a lot for watching.